In Asphalt Unite, a high-speed, adrenaline-fueled racing game, every player has a different goal. Some chase general mastery, learning the mechanics, perfecting their lines, and refining their racing instinct. Others take it even further, pushing for pixel-perfect position, where every drift, every boost, and every micro-adjustment is calculated to shave off milliseconds. But what happens when these two types of players go head-to-head? The one focused on mastery will grind until they've memorized every inch of the track, adapting to every challenge thrown their way. But the player obsessed with pixel perfect optimization, they will keep on going until every corner, every barrel roll, and every frame is executed flawlessly. And where do these two forces collide? Pudong Rise. Before the arrival of the Jesko, Pudong Rise was just another track in Shanghai. Fast, technical, and home to respectable records, but still unrefined. That all changed with the summer update on June 18th, 2019. The day the community felt the full force of the Koenigsegg Jesko. With its blistering top speed, explosive acceleration, razor-sharp handling, and relentless nitro, the Jesko wasn't just a new car, it was a game changer. For a time, it was the undisputed king of Asphalt Unite. In the early days of people sharing their lap times, a new trick called the floaty drift was discovered by Pudong Rise. A floaty drift helps the car navigate corners at much higher speeds. However, it requires more space, which is why it's used for wider turns on the track. Arclight was the first person to fully find all of the turns where he can utilize a floaty. At the time, he only had a 3-star Jesko, which limited his potential lap time, but he still managed to achieve a time of 1 minute and 1 second and 805 milliseconds. This made one of his friends want to try Pudong Rise with the Jesko. Arclight's friend, Starpark, played the track casually until he realized that one part of the track could be done way more optimally. Starpark discovered that by executing a floaty drift just before the bus, he could navigate the corner at a higher speed. And with that trick in mind, the 1 minute and 1 second barrier was broken. Starpark noticed that his grind was becoming super slow, mostly because of the fuel system in the game. So with that in mind, he decided to switch it up to the Chinese version of the game for its benefit. Starpark knew he could break the sub 1 minute barrier, but it depended on the luck of the in-game AI in mastering the floaty drifts. After 5 gruesome months, the AI was finally in Starpark's favor, and the floaty drifts were even more optimal. The 1 minute barrier was finally broken with this run. With his hard work finally paying off, Starpark took a well-earned break from Pudong Rise. One day, Starpark returned to Pudong Rise, eager to test out a new trick called the dog floaty, which was introduced to him by driver 555. While attempting a dog floaty, Starpark accidentally performed a nitro break during the floaty, which initially felt unnatural and frustration crept in. But with time, he realized that this simple mistake may just be the key to shaving down more time on Pudong Rise. After countless retries to replicate the mistake before doubt took over, he finally succeeded. He decided to name this trick a nitro break floaty, and he pulled it off in this run. After hitting 59 seconds, Starpark felt his energy drain. The fire to grind Pudong Rise for him was all gone. Shortly after, Star Park's close friend, Driver 555, stepped in. He knew the 59-second barrier could be broken. Though Star Park chose to step away from the track, he found himself drawn back as a spectator rather than a competitor, watching Driver 555's runs with anticipation. Under Star Park's gaze, every Billy upload became a spectacle, each one a thrilling attempt to break the 59-second barrier. To some, he was a tyrant gripping his throne with unshakable arrogance. To others, he was the last guardian of an era, holding back the tide of change. As accusations mounted, Star Park remained still watching. Would Driver 555 crack under the pressure or carve his name even deeper into the record books? 2 months and 6 days later, Driver 555 had carved his time down to 59 seconds and 294 milliseconds. Despite pouring every ounce of skill and effort into his attempts, the sub-59 felt like a distant dream. 9 months passed, a testament to the challenge's enduring difficulty. The record stood unshaken, a constant reminder of the barrier that had yet to be broken. No matter how precise his lines were, no matter how flawless his execution, he could only push it down to 59.124. But that final fraction of a second refused to give. On this call with Star Park noticed a crucial detail that could shave off precious milliseconds. He pointed it out to Driver 555 that using the nitro brake floaty method around these two corners may be the key to unlocking more speed. At first, Driver 555 was doubtful. He had spent countless hours perfecting his lines, but could something this simple really make a difference? Yet driven by a mix of skepticism and hope, he decided to give it a try. But then, on just a few attempts, it happened. After a year and 7 months of anticipation, the community's patience was rewarded on a crisp September day. Ink Ice shattered the standstill 58.933, a mere 0.3 milliseconds faster, but enough to prove the barrier could still be pushed. For 3 months, the record stood unchallenged. Although players believed 58.8 was within reach, the daunting challenge kept them at bay, unnoticed. One racer kept grinding. For 3 years, Sad Grai pushed the record, each run only drawing in more eyes. Then on January 11th, 2025, he shattered the silence and the record. His 58.792 was more than just a time. It was a statement, a declaration that even after years of grinding, Pudong Rise had not yet reached its limit. But in setting the bar even higher, Sad Grai did something else. He lit a fire in the community. For so long, the dream of a sub-59 run had seemed impossible. Now it had been achieved and even surpassed. But it had now been pushed even further, proving that there is still more to discover. Players who had once watched from the sidelines now began to wonder, what if the perfect lap was still out there? What if the fastest lines were yet to be found? And they could be the ones who could break the barrier. Pudong Rise has become more than just a track. It's a proving ground for the best of the best. A hub of talent, creativity, and dedication. With every record broken, every floaty executed, and every lap perfected, we have witnessed the relentless pursuit of pixel-perfect mastery. Every second shaved off is a testament to the players who refuse to accept the limits, and push the game even further than anyone has ever imagined. But this isn't the end. If anything, it's just the beginning.